Welcome, distinguished guests, to the State of the Court 2026, presented by Presiding Judge Sergio C. Tapia II. And now, please join in welcoming the judicial officers of the Superior Court of Los Angeles County. All rise. And now, please join in welcoming the Executive Officer, Clerk of Court of the Superior Court of Los Angeles County, Mr. David W. Slayton. And now, please join in welcoming this. That's really bad. And now, please welcome the Assistant Presiding Judge of the Superior Court of Los Angeles County, Judge Ricardo C. Ocampo. Ricardo R. Ocampo. I'll get it right. You may be seated.
What progress was most notable to me in 2025 is that Judge Tapia and Judge Ocampo delivered a strategic plan for our court in collaboration with the senior executive team, David Slayton, and the judges of our court. And that this strategic plan, which we so needed, was based on data that was collected about our court. So that the strategic plan addresses not just what we're doing, but why we're doing it.
Judge Tapia's tenure is a forward-looking tenure. We have made progress in terms of technology, in terms of transparency, and in terms of efficiency on numerous fronts. We have reformed our website, making it much more accessible to those that are trying to access the courts. The interface, the availability of information, and the inclusion of the AI aspect of the website have made a tremendous change in terms of being able to access information about the courts.
I am most proud of the court stepping up to meet the needs of our community and to really meet people where they are. Our court has set up resource centers in various communities to educate the public. It has conducted surveys and gather feedback on how we can do better and gain greater trust. It has worked with justice partners and community groups to launch big and bold ideas that have gone on to serve as a model for other courts throughout the nation.
The other two major changes are, one is the Court Commons, where we have created the ability for outreach directly in the community. And finally, the substantial hiring of voice reporters or recorders as an alternative means to court reporters to ensure that we have a verbatim record for the numerous proceedings that we have.
Under Judge Tapia's leadership, our court has become more efficient, more transparent, and more accessible to all. And this transformation has been seen at all levels of our court proceedings. For example, an individual who cannot afford to pay their ticket can access the ability to pay online tool which Judge Tapia has championed, and they can seek assistance. And the court is also approaching full integration of electronic files and support for remote appearances. These transformations have led to much more efficient and fair resolution of cases.
Looking back on 2025, what I'm most proud of is the people who do the work day in and day out. An institution is only as strong as the people who make up that institution. The people who come in, put their heads down, and are dedicated to seeing that we get the job done. That job being serving the citizens of this community.
What I'm most excited about in 2026 is continuing to use technology to make us more efficient, specifically with data in terms of assisting us in making administrative decisions that make us efficient, that make us more responsive, and that make us more impactful to the community that we serve.
What stands out to me most about Judge Tapia's tenure so far is that he has remained true to his core belief, the belief that this court belongs to everyone and that we are here to serve the citizens of Los Angeles County. And everything that he does, every move that he makes, is informed by that belief.
And now, all rise to welcome the presiding judge of the Superior Court of Los Angeles County, Presiding Judge Sergio C. Tapia II.
Good afternoon. Thank you for being here, and welcome to the Superior Court of Los Angeles County, the largest unified court in the United States. I want to begin by expressing my deepest gratitude to the distinguished guests before me, my family, including my wife, Judge Rosa Fregoso, my children, Mayel Tapia Fregoso, Itzel Tapia Fregoso, my father, Sergio Tapia, my sister, Beatriz Tapia, my brother-in-law, Alejandro Gradilla, and my niece, Alejandra Gradilla. I also want to take this opportunity to thank our amazing and hardworking, dedicated staff watching both in person and remotely. In addition, I want to thank our elected officials, Sheriff Robert Luna, Supervisor Janice Hahn, District Attorney Nathan Hockman, Alternate Public Defender Erica Anzuategui, Public Defender Ricardo Garcia, Los Angeles City Council Member Isabel Jurado, and Assembly Member Tom Lackey. In addition, I want to thank the legal aid leaders of Los Angeles. I also wish to acknowledge our court's Chief Executive Officer and Clerk of Court, David Slayton, whose strategic insight and operational leadership keep us functioning effectively every day. And finally, I want to thank my friend and colleague, Assistant Presiding Judge Ricardo Ocampo, whose counsel and perspective are invaluable. To those joining remotely and to those who may encounter these words long after this moment has passed, I welcome you with pride and purpose to our court. When I delivered our inaugural State of the Court address, I stood before you keenly aware of the solemn responsibility entrusted to me as presiding judge. 13 months have passed, and that awareness has not diminished. It has deepened. With each passing day, I am reminded that to lead this institution is not merely an administrative duty, but a constitutional charge. I am profoundly humbled to serve an institution rooted in our founding charter and essential to the preservation of our democracy, a court entrusted with upholding the rule of law for the largest and most diverse county in the nation. The Constitution is not a relic preserved behind glass. It is a living covenant, a binding promise that defines our government, secures our liberties, and restrains the excesses of power. And yet too often, the judicial branch is treated as an afterthought, noticed only in controversy, seldom recognized for its indispensable role in maintaining the equilibrium of our constitutional system. Caroline Kennedy once said, "The bedrock of our democracy is the rule of law, and that means we must have an independent judiciary, allowing judges who can make decisions independent of the political winds that are blowing." Her words echo a truth that bears repeating. The judiciary was never designed to bend with those winds. It was designed to stand firm. The courts do not exist to serve at the pleasure of politics. They are a co-equal branch of government independent by constitutional design, accountable not to shifting majorities, but to enduring principles. Bound only to the Constitution and the rule of law, the judiciary serves as both guardian and restraint. The framers understood a fundamental truth, that liberty is fragile. If those who write the laws and those who enforce them are also free to dictate their meaning, freedom stands unprotected. And so with deliberate foresight, they placed the courts on equal footing, erecting a constitutional shield against tyranny and establishing a permanent safeguard against the abuse of power. But today, that safeguard faces a real and growing threat. We witness efforts to delegitimize judicial authority, to cast principled decisions as partisan acts, and erode public confidence in the courts. These are not abstract concerns. They are pressures that test the very architecture of our democracy. Justice Sandra Day O'Connor once reminded us that the framers worked hard to establish an independent judiciary precisely so that judges could not be punished for rendering decisions faithful to the law. If political pressure or personal ambition begins to dictate judicial outcomes, we do not merely weaken a branch of government, we weaken the constitutional order itself. The judiciary is the nation's assurance that law, not power, governs. When that assurance falters, accountability dissolves, public confidence erodes, and the foundational promise that all stand equal before the law, including those who hold office, begins to slip away. Now more than ever, we must stand resolute. We must be steadfast stewards of the rule of law, guided not by partisanship, but by integrity. Not by expedience, but by principle. Not by shifting winds of the moment, but by an unwavering commitment to the Constitution, the law, and to justice. For courts to remain faithful to those commitments, are courts worthy of public trust. And public trust is not merely beneficial to the judiciary, it is indispensable to the survival of our democracy. As the son of Mexican-American immigrants and the first in my family to attend college, I learned early that trust in the justice system is not automatic. I was raised in communities defined by resilience, sacrifice, and hard work, but also with quiet hesitation, uncertainty, and genuine fear of the courts. That lived understanding has profoundly shaped my perspective and informed my leadership. My career began in legal aid and as a public defender, standing beside those who felt unseen, unheard, uncertain of whether the system was built for them. From those early years, I carried forward a lasting conviction. Public trust is not bestowed upon institutions. It is earned case by case, interaction by interaction, and by meeting people where they are. It is built when outreach extends beyond courthouse walls, when transparency replaces mystery with clarity, and when innovation lowers barriers and expands access. If we ask communities to place their faith in our courts, we must demonstrate that we are worthy of it through humility, consistency, and an unwavering commitment to fairness. Leading this court is the honor of a lifetime. By design, it is also fleeting. A 2-year tenure passes quickly, and it demands clarity of purpose from the very first day. I understood from the outset this role would not merely preserve the status quo. It carried a solemn responsibility to confront hard truths about how our systems function, to listen openly, and to work collaboratively to ensure they function better for everyone. This requires deepening our connection to the communities we serve and embracing approaches not traditionally associated with courts, but essential as we move forward into the 21st century and into the next chapter of our nation's history. In 2025, we identified many priorities for our court. But priorities without structure are simply aspirations. We needed a plan. I'm proud to say that in 2025, the judges and executive leadership delivered, launching a 3-year strategic plan developed by judicial officers in partnership with executive staff, representing a diverse cross-section of litigation areas, districts, and perspectives across our county, and informed by data and the voices of the people we serve. The plan now guides how we think, prioritize, and measure success. Within it, we renewed our mission statement. The Superior Court of Los Angeles County serves our community by providing equal access to justice through the fair, timely, and effective resolution of all cases. One word changed, but it matters. We replaced efficient with effective. Efficiency asks, how fast do we move? Effectiveness asks, did we do what justice required? No matter how streamlined our work may appear, we must continually ask whether it achieves the outcomes our Constitution demands and our communities deserve. Our strategic plan ensures every initiative advances a shared vision, improving accessibility and the user experience, strengthening public trust, streamlining case resolution and operations, preparing a future-ready bench and workforce, and fostering a court that is innovative, agile, and responsive. With our plan firmly in place, 2025 became a year of purposeful progress. This time last year, the digital entry point to our court, our website, was archaic, difficult to navigate, and useless to the public we serve. It was a barrier to meaningful access to justice. On July 1st of last year, we turned the page. We launched a new website built around a single guiding principle. The public should not need a law degree to understand their court. Every decision in the redesign centered on the user experience, clear navigation, intuitive structure, and information organized around what people actually need, not how we internally label it. We replaced clutter with simplicity, legal jargon with plain language, confusion with clarity. The result is more than a new website. It is a modern, accessible front door to justice, one that reflects who we strive to be as a court system, transparent, responsive, and grounded in dignity and respect for the people we serve. At the heart of this transformation is Court Help, an interactive artificial intelligence assistant built directly into our homepage. Court Help provides immediate, plain language answers to common questions. How do I file a restraining order? There is an answer. How do I appear remotely? There is an answer for that too. And those answers are available in any language. Because access to justice should never depend on legal fluency or English fluency. Recognizing that in 2026, most court users expect the option to appear remotely, we also streamlined our remote appearance system across every litigation type. No matter the case, there is now one simple uniform platform to appear before the court. Inside our courthouses, we have made equally meaningful improvements. When you arrived today, you likely noticed our new digital signage and wayfinding tools, technology designed to guide visitors through what can feel like a labyrinth. This courthouse alone houses more than 100 courtrooms. Even I occasionally pause to reorient myself. Digital signage is now live in Pomona, Compton, the Antelope Valley, and of course here at the Stanley Moss Courthouse. Our objective is straightforward: reduce confusion, lower stress, and make finding your courtroom as simple as finding your gate at the airport. For many who walk through our doors, this may be one of the most consequential days of their lives. They should not have to struggle just to find the right hallway. By July 1, this same technology will expand to the Criminal Justice Center, Van Nuys, Pasadena, and the Metropolitan Courthouses. Another deliberate step towards making our courts more accessible, intuitive, and humane. Jury service, too, has become more accessible. From our homepage, prospective jurors can now register or postpone service through Court Help. Juror check-in kiosks across the county have made arrival quick and seamless. Behind the scenes, often after hours, our facilities and court technology services teams have outfitted all 580 courtrooms with modern audiovisual technology. Whether appearing in person or remotely, participants can now expect a hearing experience that is clear, reliable, and productive. And through a pilot program launched in Pomona, soon to expand court-wide, we are ensuring that jurors who are deaf or hard of hearing have access to American Sign Language interpreting services throughout their service. Because civic participation must be inclusive. Jury service must be accessible. Democracy, my friends, demands no less. Each improvement may seem incremental on its own, but taken together, every person who finds their courtroom without confusion, every litigant who attends a remote hearing during a lunch break, every court user who quickly finds reliable information online, each interaction strengthens public trust, and public trust is the foundation upon which our authority rests. Through these efforts, we affirm something fundamental. This institution belongs to the people. It must be accessible to them, responsive to them, and worthy of their confidence. You know, trust matters to us so deeply that last year we chose to measure it. We commissioned a county-wide survey conducted by a respected national polling firm to better understand how residents of Los Angeles County view their court, their confidence in us, their satisfaction with us, and their expectations of us. The results were both affirming and instructive. By wide margins, residents believed that the Superior Court of Los Angeles County upholds civil rights, maintains checks and balances on the other branches of government, and ensures that elected officials follow the law. Most notably, 64% of respondents expressed trust in our court. In fact, public trust in this court ranked higher than that of any other government agency, local, state, or federal. That finding speaks to something profound. A fair and impartial judiciary remains essential to the health of our democracy. But we cannot celebrate without also reflecting. 64% means that more than a third of our residents do not yet express a high level of trust. And when we examine the data more closely, we saw that trust gaps remain, particularly among Latino and Black residents in our community. That is not a statistic to defend, it is a call to action. Trust is never permanent. It is not granted once and secured forever. It must be earned continuously by listening, understanding the lived experience, and by recognizing that judicial legitimacy rests not only on the fairness of our processes, but on the perceptions of the people we serve and the experiences of their families. Civic engagement is therefore not optional. It is essential. People cannot place confidence in institutions they do not know. For communities to trust us, they must understand who we are, how we serve, and what we stand for. That belief gave rise to one of the most innovative initiatives of 2025, Court Commons. Court Commons is a mobile civic engagement center designed to meet people where they are, to deepen public understanding of our justice system, and to deliver critical resources directly into the community. It reflects a simple but powerful idea. The court must not only administer justice within courthouse walls, it must step beyond them. It must earn trust, invite understanding, engage with intention. This month, Court Commons hosted a resource fair at the Discovery Cube in the San Fernando Valley. There, our self-help and community engagement teams assisted more than 300 community members, providing guidance on expungements, unlawful detainers, restraining orders, and other urgent legal needs. This is what access to justice looks like in practice. Court Commons has traveled to courthouses across the county and will visit several LA Unified schools before the end of the school year, reaching students, families, and future jurors where they live and learn. And trust matters most in moments of crisis. During last year's devastating fires, our self-help center staff deployed to assist recovery centers serving the Palisades and Eaton communities. There, amid uncertainty and loss, court staff provided timely and critical information to residents navigating extraordinary hardship. In some of the most vulnerable moments of their lives, survivors were able to turn to their court, not as a distant institution, but as a source of guidance and stability. It is what trust makes possible. And before we move on from the subject of trust, we must acknowledge something fundamental. Trust in this institution begins with the people who wear the robe. To my fellow judges seated before us, your role in our democracy is profound, and it is deeply personal. Each day you are entrusted with decisions that shape lives, families, businesses, futures. The law guides your analysis, but it is your demeanor, your patience, your preparation, your humanity that shapes how justice is experienced. A steady tone, a careful explanation, a moment of courtesy on a crowded calendar. These may seem small in the press of a long day, but to the person standing before you, they are not small at all. They are lasting. They are defining. Public trust is not built in grand pronouncements, but in courtrooms, case by case, litigant by litigant. It is built through fairness, your discipline, and your unwavering commitment to impartiality. For that, I thank you. We are, of course, not without challenges. Over the past 3 years, civil filings, both limited and unlimited, have surged by 67%. This year alone, our civil division received more than 110,000 new filings. That volume strains dockets, stretches calendars, and tests the limits of our resources. But challenge demands strategy. We have redeployed judicial officers from other assignments to assist with the increased civil inventory. We have expanded and strengthened our investment in alternative dispute resolution, partnering with leaders in the legal community to build best-in-the-nation mediation programs, including the Mediation Volunteer Panel, Resolve Law LA, and the Mediation Center of Los Angeles. These programs are achieving a nearly 50% settlement rate. That means thousands of cases resolving before trial, saving time, expense, and providing peace and certainty for the parties involved. To those in this room who have volunteered your time to mediate, your service is invaluable. You are helping justice move forward. We have also supported legislative innovation. In response to rising civil filings, just last week, Assemblymember Harabedian introduced AB 1950, a pilot program that would grant judicial officers greater flexibility to refer civil matters to mediation without rigid dollar thresholds, while fully preserving every party's right to trial. It is a thoughtful, balanced approach to timely and cost-effective resolution. We thank Assemblymember Harabedian for his leadership and urge serious consideration of this measure. At the same time, we continue to confront a persistent and troubling issue, the verbatim record crisis. Every day, proceedings in family law, probate, and restraining order hearings go unrecorded. Litigants leave without a transcript of what transpired, effectively limiting their ability to pursue appellate review. That reality is unacceptable. While the crisis has not abated, neither has our resolve. We launched an internal court reporter training program to prepare our staff as voice writers capable of capturing the record. We implemented a remote court reporter pilot to securely produce transcripts from designated off-site locations. And we have hired nearly 50 new voice writers to strengthen our ranks. These efforts reflect good faith progress, but let me be clear, we remain steadfast in our belief that every litigant is constitutionally entitled to a verbatim record of their proceeding. Even amid these challenges, meaningful progress continues. In 2025, we expanded electronic service across civil case types. It may sound unremarkable in 2026, but enabling electronic service with immediate notification, automatic proof of service, and flexible access makes tangible differences in the lives of litigants and practitioners alike. And this year, we are advancing what has long been the holy grail of modernization, criminal e-filing. With a modern criminal case management system now installed, we are working closely with more than 88 law enforcement agencies and over 30 prosecutorial offices to build a truly paperless criminal division. It is complex work, but it is transformative work. The strength of this court ultimately depends on the strength of its people. We have continued to invest in the judicial pipeline, expanding mentorship, leadership development, and recruitment tools in collaboration with the governor's office to ensure that excellence on the bench endures. On the staff side, our judicial assistant training program has graduated 3 full cohorts this past year, combining rigorous instruction with hands-on courtroom experience in updated facilities. We are cultivating expertise, professionalism, and pride in public service. And we are not slowing down. In the coming year, we will launch a court-wide customer experience initiative establishing uniform best practice standards across clerks' offices, self-help centers, call centers, and beyond. Whether someone engages us online, by phone, or in person, they should encounter consistent, clear, and respectful service. Because justice is not only about outcomes, it is about experience. We will also deepen our work to ensure meaningful participation in eviction proceedings. Over the past 3 years, more than 40,000 unlawful detainer cases have been filed in our court. A staggering number with profound human consequences. In partnership with Stanford University and their legal design lab, we are redesigning unlawful detainer notices using data-driven, user-centered design to ensure they are clear, actionable, and understandable. This July, we will launch a fully redesigned notice that empowers both landlords and tenants with information that promotes informed participation in the process. Now, because access to justice begins with understanding, and understanding builds trust, and 26 years after the unification of our municipal and superior courts, we are completing a change that is long overdue. We are renumbering courtrooms. For decades, department numbers reflected a system that no longer exists, a distinction between municipal and superior courts that has been gone for a generation. Now we are aligning department numbers with actual courtroom numbers, eliminating confusion and making it intuitive for litigants to find where they need to go. Justice should not require a scavenger hunt. During the transition, you will see clear guidance at every turn. Digital directory screens, posted crosswalk charts showing old and new numbers, and temporary signage to keep everyone on course. The full update at the Stanley Moss Courthouse takes effect May 4th, 2026, with similar improvements to follow across our location, all of our locations. Now, we cannot speak about the future without speaking about defining. We cannot speak about the future. Can you back up just a tiny bit? Thank you. We cannot speak about the future without speaking about one defining force of our time, artificial intelligence. Let me state this unequivocally. In no world will AI interfere with the sanctity, independence, or impartiality of judicial decision-making. The exercise of judgment, constitutional judgment, belongs to human beings entrusted with that responsibility. But neither can we ignore the world as it evolves around us. To prepare responsibly, we will launch AI readiness training in 2026 to ensure that judicial officers and staff understand emerging tools, their benefits, their limitations, and their risks. Our approach will be deliberate, ethical, and grounded in our core values. Technology will support our mission, not supplant it. Now, we have spoken about trust. We have spoken about community. Now we take the next step. This year, we will launch a Community Justice Center, a small-scale resource hub embedded directly in the neighborhoods we serve. Whether in a storefront or civic space, it will bring court services beyond courthouse walls and into the daily life of the community. I am grateful to my friend, City Council Member Isabel Jurado, who joins us today and has graciously agreed to help identify a space within the community she represents. A proudly majority-minority community rich in culture, resilience, and history. It reflects the vibrant, interwoven fabric that makes Los Angeles not merely diverse, but extraordinary. By meeting people where they are, we deepen relationships with residents, community organizations, and local leaders. We reduce barriers, transportation, time away from work, the intimidation that some feel when entering a courthouse. We make justice more practical, more approachable, more equitable. This initiative is built on partnership with elected officials and community stakeholders who share our commitment to expanding access. Together, we will align resources, leverage trusted neighborhood spaces, and tailor services to meet the specific needs of each community. By combining the court's expertise with local leadership, we are building a sustainable, community-centered model that brings justice closer to the people it exists to serve. And let me be frank, I know that many communities across this great county are afraid. I know there is anxiety, and that anxiety translates into hesitation about coming to court, the very place people seek protection, fairness, and justice. As presiding judge of the largest trial court in the nation, I say this clearly. This court remains unwavering in its commitment to provide fair, equal, and accessible justice to every resident of Los Angeles County, regardless of citizenship, immigration status, language, or background. And let me also be clear. You do not have to walk into a courthouse to take care of your court business. Today, many hearings and services can be accessed from a smartphone. You can file documents online, pay fees online, access self-help resources online, attend a restraining order hearing or a child custody hearing remotely, receive assistance from a call center. We understand that there are many reasons someone may not feel comfortable or may not be able to appear in person. No one in this county should feel that justice is beyond their reach. In today's climate, we have ensured that justice is quite literally in the palm of your hand. Before I conclude, as you make your way to the reception on the 9th floor, I invite you to engage with our new indoor exhibit debuting today. Modeled after Court Commons, these installations live within this courthouse, informing, engaging, and we hope, strengthening public understanding of the vital role of the judiciary. It is the honor of my life to serve the Superior Court of Los Angeles County alongside public servants of extraordinary dedication and compassion who show up each day with a steadfast commitment to justice. Los Angeles County is vast, not only in size, but in spirit, a tapestry of cultures, stories, and aspirations. To serve here is to be part of something dynamic and deeply consequential. But with that honor comes responsibility. People turn to this court in the moments that matter most, in times of uncertainty, conflict, and crisis. They come seeking fairness, stability, and protection. They come trusting that we will stand steady. That trust is sacred. It calls us to lead with integrity, to serve with purpose, and to ensure that justice is not an abstract ideal, but a lived reality, real, accessible, and present for every person who seeks it. If we remain faithful to that charge, this court will not simply administer justice, it will embody it. Thank you. Rob, how long did that go? 32? Oh, I got to cut some stuff out.